Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Serge T. Been a while, over a year I think, close to that. Been through a lot in my life. Health issues, a lot of things that could have took me out. But at the same time, I'm here and I thought it would be time for me to go back to doing this channel. I'm looking at possibly focusing only on pro wrestling. This is my first, you could just say, love when it comes to anything that I'm interested in. I love movies, I love TV shows, like on this channel. And those of you who are subscribers and would like me to still do that, let me know in the comments. But let's get into wrestling. Let's get into this past week. Last week, of course, was WrestleMania 40, the biggest WrestleMania, and actually it was the biggest WrestleMania. A lot of star power, a lot of things that popped off, and a lot of amazing moments. Matches that you thought wouldn't, you know, blow the roof off. The one match, and even though there's a lot of matches that I like, but the one match that surprised me was Io versus Bayley. You talk about Io showing us that she can go in the ring. It's not all about just her high flying, not all about her just looking beautiful and looking the way she does, and everybody just loves Io. But she went out there and showed why she's probably one of the top Joshis in the world. You know, coming from that side of the world, Japan, you know, she was in Stardom, I believe, and she was doing her thing there. She comes to WWE and she shows her stuff and shows her thing, and I think that was missing in a lot of her recent matches. But she pushed Bayley to her best match too, and of course Bayley won, came out on top, and pretty much got the best of Damage Control. Of course, Cody winning, finally winning and finishing his story. I absolutely loved the way that happened. The people that came in to help him. You got Cena in there, The Undertaker. You know, of course, Jimmy spearing, not Jimmy, but Jay spearing Jimmy off of the stage there. And you never saw it hide nor hair of them after that. You know, a lot of craziness. I mean, the match with the Pride versus the Final Testament, I think it's really, really run its course. I hope they don't continue to go back to it because there's no reason. Start and stop, start and stop. You're about to do a match and then it's a fucked finish, or it doesn't get started. As much as I am a fan of Karrion Kross and his group there, Scarlett, Razar, and Akam, the powers of I was about to say powers of pain. What the AOP, and then we have Paul Ellering, one of the greatest. It's so great that he's still around and he could still be a manager like he is. You gotta do something. They should have built it up where they went up against the lower level teams, then the upper mid card teams. Destroy people, have people laid out, and wondering who the hell is this, what's happening, and then you finally have Bobby Lashley them get attacked, and then but they're like dragging this on, and this match was fun. Of course, we had Jason Kels and the other NFL guy come in, and no, that was, what am I talking about? That was with Mysterio and them. I don't know what I'm talking about. Who's the one that came in for those guys that helped out? Oh, Bubba, right? Yeah, it was Bubba, who was the referee, special guest referee, calling for the tables and and putting was that Montez was the one that did a frog splash into Karrion Kross, right? Then Bobby gets the pin. That should be the end of it, really. But you talk about that. Like I said with Cody, it was a feel good moment. His mom was there, his wife was there, and he had all of the guys come in. Jay came out, so did KO and Sammy, who beat Gunther. Was he the right guy to go to? I think basically it's because it's time that Gunther moves on to the next level. That is to be the World Heavyweight Champion. That's what it used to be back in the day, folks. It was, what do you call it? It was you became Intercontinental Champion, and then after you become Intercontinental Champion, that's the catapult to the World Heavyweight title, or back then the WWE title, when it was just those two championships. That's something that they need to start doing, and it looks like they're going to do it. Don't be surprised that he's going to be the next World Heavyweight Champion come, next year's WrestleMania 41, which they still haven't announced as of this recording that I'm recording. It hasn't even been, what do you call it? It hasn't been announced. They usually announce it during WrestleMania 1 or Night 1 or Night 2. I'm thinking, okay, Monday, Raw after WrestleMania? No. SummerSlam? No. Unless I missed something, but I know I was watching it. I was watching it and didn't see any kind of announcements. I don't know if they're going to do that at the next pay-per-view. Maybe they're going to do it at SummerSlam. Who knows? Because it's like, I know they want to do it now because they want to be able to get people to buy the tickets and do all the preparation and everything they need to do, get the hotels, and I'll give them time to do that, to prepare. So you buy tickets now, then you can, worry about your hotel reservations and, your travel and all that stuff to get to the venue. I remember them saying that they were going to do a thing where they're going to, they basically put out there the cities that they thought that's going to get it. I don't know. I kind of forgot. I think Detroit, Cleveland. I could be thinking about another pay-per-view, but I don't know. It's weird, But WrestleMania was great, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here all day and talk about it. It's a lot to take in, a lot to do. But I enjoyed both night one, night two. I think night two was better, but night one was great too. And night two, they start off with Drew and Seth. I mean, you know what Seth's been through. The night before, him and Cody lost. Cody taking the pin from The Rock, which was the only thing to do, because you're not going to let The Rock, lose in his first match. Roman can't lose because he's a champion, neither can Seth. So Cody was the logical choice. And I know people probably thought, they made him look weak. Didn't make him look weak. He was the logical choice to get pinned because it's not going to affect him. Because look what happened in night two. He becomes the undisputed WWE champion. It's kind of funny how they say WWE champion. They don't say the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, because I think they're probably going to get rid of that title, because that's Roman's title, pretty much. And it's also a title that Vince McMahon, I mean, I know he's Voldemort now. He who cannot, he was, name you can't say, or however that saying goes in Harry Potter, And it's kind of funny how the what do you call it? Another great night was the Hall of Fame, and Rock was the only one that said his name. I don't know why, because everybody else avoided his name like the plague, and you should. He's a scumbag. He is a vile human being for the things that he did. And people, let's stop doing the whole thing of, well, without him, he wouldn't. Well, this person wouldn't have been here. That person would be. Even John Cena saying that, without him, without Vince, I can't. I wouldn't be where I am. And yes, that's all fine and good, but we're not talking about that now. We're talking about what he did now. Yes, he did make it possible. That goes without saying, but don't use that as an excuse to talk away the shit that he did recently. That's not what you do, And then we got Stephanie back. She opened up night two, pretty much telling everybody to welcome to WrestleMania. It was great seeing her, beautiful as ever, and she's like 47 years old, something like that, and she looks great, But it was great seeing her, and there's rumors that she is back, and that's great. If she's back, that's awesome. Because from what I read and from what I heard, everybody went to her all the time backstage. She was very, accepting. She let anybody come to her with any kind of problems, whatever. She was like a kind of like a locker room leader. She actually was somebody who everybody respects and looks up to, and they were sad when she left. And we all know why she left, because she didn't want to have anything to do with her dad's horse shit. And I hate when people want to say that, she had to know, and so did Triple H, and so they should be fired too. Really? Let's put it this way, guys and gals. Vince McMahon is the almighty, no pun intended to Bobby Lashley, but he's the one that everybody had to answer to. You're gonna tell him to how to do his shit, what to do, what he's supposed to do, what not to do. It's behind closed doors. They have an idea what's going on, but they're not going to say, "Oh shit, Vince, you shouldn't do that." Vince was in charge. Vince was the one who pretty much signed off on people's checks, and he's the one that had your career in the palm of their hand. If you kind of rock the boat or whatever, you're gone or you're done or you're going to get reduced your role in the company. So you think Triple H and what do you call it, Stephanie, Shane, those guys are gonna like tell him what to do, you know? So maybe they did know, but they knew something was going on, but they're not. They probably weren't privy to what he was doing exactly. If they knew, do you think Stephanie would have still been there? Do you think that Triple H or any of those guys would still be? They probably would be gone. They probably would be like, "Fuck this shit. I'm not gonna deal with that crap." But they knew something was going on. I mean, they seen young interns going into his damn, what do you call it? Even her divas were going into his office, and some of them coming out crying. Ashley Massaro, God rest her soul, very talented. She was somebody who they were pushing, but then, they were giving her a push. But you know why they were giving her a push? Because they wanted something from her. And look what happened to her on one of those, one of those USO tours or whatever it was when WWE goes overseas, and she was raped. I mean, so a lot of her story went, you know, her problems that she had, they didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to listen to her. They tried to say that she's just overreacting or hallucinating or whatever. What she says isn't true. And then look at what's happening now. And you you watch a lot of videos where he's being a guy who's being creepy with the divas and all the Kiss My Ass Club and all this stuff. And then you listen to stuff that he's into, all that perverted crap. It kind of goes hand in hand now. Like, it's like, oh, the reason why he was doing that stuff is because he was doing that in real life, and you wanted to put a little bit of it into the product. And it's just like, he's a piece of shit. You want to defend him, go ahead, go right ahead and defend him if you want, because there are some sickos out there that'll defend him. Oh, they'll use the excuse, well, without him, sports entertainment, wrestling wouldn't be where it is. Sports entertainment, a word now that is like, it's dope. It's what WWE wanted you to say. Now it's like, pro wrestling. Remember what Michael Cole did when he signed off on WrestleMania? The last thing he said, "I love professional wrestling." And that's how it should be. I don't know why Vince McMahon looked at that word like it was a damn evil word, or it's a word that it's like a no-no. Isn't that what made your family? Isn't that what your sports entertainment is based on, this pro wrestling? Why is it a naughty word in Vince McMahon's thing? I don't know. But he's gone. I seen a recent picture of him. Like, what was he doing? He was going into a office or something, and he looks so like a shell of his former self. Like, he's just like, just go away, man. Go to a damn care home and sit there and let nurses take care of you and all that stuff. It's like you're not needed anymore. If Stephanie's truly back, and then maybe Shane will come back, then you're gonna have, it's a new era, as they say, and it looks like it. The way Raw was, you talk about a total 360 from last year, where it was just like, we're gonna. What was the main event? It was like a Bobby Lashley and who was it? But it was an awful, like, what? And then didn't Brock go haywire and start throwing stuff around, and then a bunch of just repeats from WrestleMania, like repeats from what we've seen previous. You know how McMahon loves 6-man tags and two tag team matches and rinse and repeat. Pretty much take the same script from last week. Okay, we'll just do it this week. But then you look at this WrestleMania, and look at the WrestleMania, the Raw After Wrestlemania. Raw was just chock full of this moments in there, right? You have Roxanne Perez, who is the new, NXT Women's Champion, and I don't watch NXT, I don't watch it, and But I know who the champions are, you know, and I know who is the stars there. The only reason why I don't watch it is because damn Booker T and his mush mouth. Things that he says, and sometimes it's just like shucky ducky quack quack and all that stuff, and then he thinks it sounds cool. And then you look at you know that Vic Joseph is like, the fuck you just say? Like one time there was a big I watched one of his, it was like Stand and Deliver, some one of those, because I watched some of those PLE events and they're really good. But he said something, and then Vic Joseph was paused for like, I don't know, third. It seemed like minutes. He was like, and then you could tell he's going, what? And sometimes he'll go like, I don't know, Booker. I don't know what you mean by that, Booker. But let's do this. Let's say this, you know. But you could tell he's like, what? And that's the reason why I don't watch NXT, and I want to. I loved everybody that's there, and there's some people that are coming over now. You know, we got Tiffany Stratton, who she's definitely going to be the next big thing when it comes to the female, because that match she had on SmackDown, you know, she had it with Naomi. She lost, but I guess they want to put Naomi and Bailey together, and it's next week. I don't understand why they don't have that match for Backlash in France. That's coming up. Like, what's the hurry? She's not gonna win. You know, Bailey's not gonna lose her title, and Naomi, I don't think they're gonna give her the title just yet. How about you give it a little more time so that at least when she loses, give it a little more time, right? Make it go to Backlash, but in between that time, you give Naomi a bunch of wins, make her look strong. Bailey, the same thing. Just her and her wrestling somebody that comes out challenges her for a title, but just wrestles her, and then she beats them, and then she kind of builds up matches, wins before the thing, and then both of them will be, you know, totally like without a loss, you know, all nothing but wins, and then when they face each other, it's like boom, you know. I mean, but I guess that's, you know, that's what they're gonna do, and Tiffany Stratton's gonna be okay. She could take some losses here and there. Everybody loves her. She's a heel, a nasty, you know, not nasty, but she's like you know, she's all about herself, and she's so arrogant and conceited and all that stuff. And she's like, no one's better than me. It's Tiffy time, and I'm like, okay, but for some reason I like you. You're a heel, but then myself and the rest of the WWE universe love her. They love her, so she's got something going. You imagine if she became a babyface, she'd be even bigger. But her being a heel, I think everybody loves her as a heel. I do too. Because she's gonna try. Because I always say that it's harder to be a babyface than a heel. Because a heel, you can say anything. You don't have to watch your words. But when it's a babyface, you have to watch what you say because you're a babyface. You have to have that thing about you where it's like you gotta say the right things. You know, even though sometimes you know how they say the tweeners. You know, they have a guy who's a babyface or he's a heel. A girl's a babyface or a heel. Like Joe's like that in AEW. You know. So is Bryan Danielson. They're like in between. Like sometimes Danielson will be talking crap about somebody, about a babyface, and then like he does a babyface thing. Like it's like what the, you know. I don't know if Mox is like that. He kind of is, but at the same time he's pretty much Moxley. Everybody knows who Moxley is, right? You know, not how he is. But like I said, the Raw After Wrestlemania, they had those two debut. I don't know if they're on the thing yet. They could be, even though they are champions. You know, and this is weird because Carmelo Hayes is a heel. Like when I saw a promo that he attacked Trick, and I'm like, wasn't he a babyface coming down the main roster, right? But you know, that's the reason why I wish that Booker T would just leave, because I just can't stand his way of talking and the way he commentates. He's never was good. It's great to see him at first. You're like, oh, Booker's back, and then you think to yourself, that's the reason why I stopped listening, watching SmackDown or now with NXT now, right? I don't know. I don't get it with him. I don't know if he has something over WWE's head, and that's the reason why they still keep him there. I've read some things that they really aren't. There are some that aren't really fans of his when it comes to his commentary, but it's like for a reason. I guess because he's a Hall of Famer and he's a good guy, great guy. I'm not gonna take that away from Booker T, but it's like. But let's talk about how Booker T tried to start something with CM Punk, saying that there's something that we said to each other, he said to me, but I'll just leave that to you guys, and not say what it was. And then he turns around and says that it really, because it's just like, why are you going to do that about CM Punk? And CM Punk is trying to be on his best behavior, and you're trying to leave it out there that may have said something to him, But the Raw After Mania was great. But like I said, if you're comparing it to last year, anything would be great. Indie show would be better than the Raw After Mania. But in context of Raw After Mania, this was really a great one. I already talked about NXT. I don't watch it, but I do see excerpts. I do see like clips and things that happen and stuff. And I hate the fact that I'm not watching it because of Booker T, because I just don't want to hear his voice. There's so many great people coming out of there. Creed Brothers, they're on main roster. They were there. They were great. Roddy's killing it in AEW. Like I said, Tiffany Stratton. You got Indy Hartwell doing okay. She's in the middle of a possible breakup with Candice LeRae, but I don't know about that. I like Indy Hartwell. Hopefully they just focus on her, and even focus on them solely. Because they're great wrestlers. Candice LeRae is somebody who could go with men. You know what I mean? She wrestles men, and she takes Canadian destroyers, and she takes fucking lariats, and she gets thrown around by guys who are 3 times her size, and she gets up and she still kicks ass. Let's see that. And Triple H is probably planning that. He's probably going to bring that out in them, because McMahon has no Vince has no his hands are in the cookie jar. It's nowhere near there. So it's like, Triple H is fully in charge. So so I'm pretty sure he's going to start really, really showing us what these guys can do. I'm tired of people saying that some of these people can't wrestle. Oh, they're this and that. They're garbage. They're trash. That's just because Vince McMahon. That's why Karrion Kross is having a hard time getting over now, because of the fact of how Vince McMahon totally ruined his character once he came to the main roster. Get rid of Scarlett, make him look like Demolition 2.0. Right? And he comes out, and then that's the reason why nobody's taking him seriously now. So it's going to take a while to get his character. It's just going to take good creative and the machine behind them, and everything will be fine. I did start watching TNA for a bit, but I have so much wrestling that I just stopped watching. But it's great. Their reboot is great. Jordan Grace is their women's champion as of a month ago when I stopped watching it. She was the champ. I don't know if she dropped the title. I can't see nobody there, because there's really not a great women's division there. I'm not saying that they don't have great women's wrestlers, but it's almost like it's the same people that she's defending the title against, or it's around the same people. It's like, Zaya Brookside, who's really, really great. She's still young, so they're not going to give her the title yet. But she comes from a great, her Robbie Brookside's her dad, and he's one of the legends of British wrestling. So you know that she's got a good pedigree, and she's going to definitely be a future champion. But I have not watched since their last pay-per-view. Trying to remember what it was. But, or the last one I saw. But let's talk about the main thing that I really want to touch on, and that is AEWDynamite. I almost tapped out because I'm tired of old pussyfoot around the subject. Mr. I want to be friends with all of my wrestlers. I can't tell them no. I can't yell at them because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Mr. Tony Khan, right? The guy who couldn't book, a damn dogfight. You know what I mean? He couldn't book a damn, what do you call it? Nothing really. He's an awful booker. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The guy books with his feelings. He doesn't book with his head. How many times are we going to see a tournament that is so obvious what the finale is going to be? They're currently in the midst of a crowning new tag team champions because Sting retired and Darby is off. He had an injury. Maybe that was a godsend because he was going to go do climb, Mount Everest. What is the the life death ratio on that. Majority of people die from that stuff. You go up on the way you're climbing them, you'll see frozen dead bodies. They can't remove them. They're there. It's almost like a reminder, like maybe you should turn around and come back the other way. Doesn't mean that Darby ain't gonna do it again, right? It's not like he ain't gonna do it again, but what's up with that? It's like he's gonna do that and possibly, and the thing about it though is that this last match that he had, it's like he's doing things that like, hello, you need your body to heal from your last match, from the match we had with Sting where you went through glass. It's like, and then he's gonna go do Mount Everest where you have to use every bit of your fiber in your body and everything to climb, right? You need all the strength. You need to be in decent, or at least almost perfect health, at least to climb that shit. And then he's doing all that stuff. He should have just had just a regular match, his final match, But he was still doing stuff that I'm like, oh, what? And then he ends up getting injured. He didn't get injured going through the glass in the tag team title match, right? All the other crazy stuff that he does. But I believe it was like a simple move that he did, and he broke his foot, I believe, right? He broke something. I'm surprised he didn't break every bone in his body. Him and Mick Foley, if Mick Foley's still alive by the time he retires Darby, they're gonna fucking be, look at you. Oh yeah, I got a broken elbow too. Oh, I got a stitch right here. I separated my what do you call it? My bicep. My bicep from the bone. And oh yeah, man, I got like a dislocated shoulder, man. My shoulder doesn't work right anymore. It's like this, they could trade things later on, maybe now. I mean, him and Jeff Hardy. God bless him. The guy just still wants to go. But AEW, like I was talking about, the thing that, like I said, is that the tag team, the tournament. Once I knew that it was the Bucks and FTR on either side of the brackets. I wonder where this is going to go. Where did it go? It went right to them two in the finals. Oh, that's like surprising. That's the thing I'm talking about with Tony Khan. He doesn't know how to book to like give you a surprise or a shock. It's like every time they do something, every time he books something, it's like, I know where this is going. I'm not saying that wrestling is not predictable, but at least there's some kind of at least a bit of a shock and awe when it happens, even though you're thinking, I'm thinking it's going to go this way. But you're still invested in the journey, and you still can think that, something might go, we might get swerved here. Something might go another way. But with AEW and the way Tony Khan books, it's like, it's going to go this way. There's no surprise here. Oh, of course. Those two end up in the finals. Oh, of course, that guy becomes the champion. And then now they're trying to do their thing. They're trying to tie in the debacle that was the backstage footage from All In. It's one of those stupid things where I know that thing was going to blow up in their face and make them look bad. And the Bucks were like selling it like, and they don't even say Punk's name or anything like that. They show the footage, and a lot of people, I get it. You don't like Punk. He's a polarizing figure, but he's a guy who's old school. He's a guy that doesn't put up with no one's shit, and he will get to in your face and tell you straight up you fucked up. I saw an excerpt of that interview he had with Ariel Helwani, right? He's like, I went up to him and I'm like, Jack, why do you have to do that indie crap? And then you can see in the video the way he's talking to Punk. There's no audio. And then people want to say that he went in there and he started a fight, he pushed him and all that shit. But if you look closely, and I don't give a fuck if you hate Punk, that shouldn't be a reason for you to say that he's guilty. They actually are all guilty. But when you look at Punk, it was a reactionary push. It's like, when someone says something, what did you say, motherfucker? Like that. That's what it looked like. He even said, what's the thing that he said? That you don't want to get too close to me, man. Cause, and then Jack Perry said, like, yeah, why don't you do something about it? And then Punk said something like, this one during the interview, that excerpt I saw, he's all, You don't want to do that, man, because I'll kill you. I'll destroy you, or something like that, where he's gonna definitely get him, and I believe him. But Jack Perry said something that caused him to do that, you know. And then he went and he said he did some choking. Probably I think it was on Tony Khan, and then when Joe said enough, Samoa Joe said enough, man, enough. Lets him go, and he says, you know what? This company is a joke. It's a fucking joke. I quit. And it is a joke. This company is a joke. I'm only hanging in there because of what they're doing with Mercedes Moné. I'll talk about that later. But it's like, so they did that, and everybody from Busted Open, all these other people are totally criticizing these people. Eric Bischoff, I think he gave his thing. I think I saw a thumbnail on that. All these major podcasts, maybe even Bruce Pritchard probably has one out there. Well, yeah, and probably what's his name? Who is that? The one guy? Oh, Jim Cornette. I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked yet, but I know Busted Open had a thing talking with Dolph Ziggler, who's Nick Nemeth now because he's in TNA. Talking to him, he said, "Do you think it was a good idea?" And he's like, going, "Well, when you have your crowd, AEW, chanting CM Punk after showing that, what does that mean and prove to you people? That he is being supported by even the fans who, majority of them in TNA hate Punk because of what he did. They feel like he betrayed AEW and went to the enemy. And yet, they're chanting for CM Punk after they show that footage. That footage, all that did was show that to me, that Jack Perry was in the wrong. He definitely was the one that started that shit. We know he started it when he said, Rio Glass, cry me a river. Like, does this asshole and these other, people in AEW, especially the majority of the ones who are young, who don't want to listen to the veterans and none of that, that Punk was doing that, telling him not to do that because he wants him to be safe. Jack Perry, I remember hearing that he said, "Oh, I want real glass so that because when I go take vacation, it'll send me out, in a way that I'm gonna be away for a while." Just do it storyline wise. You don't have to go through real glass to prove that. You'll go through fake glass, and then they'll say that he was so badly hurt that he's not gonna be here for another 3-4 months. But no, let me get real glass so that I can prove my point that that I got hurt. You don't have to go through real glass. Go through that sugar glass, that glass that they use in movies in Hollywood. I thought that, you know what I mean? Don't be like an indie fucking thing where they have tables and they don't know how to cut the table in the middle to make it break. And every time you see a wrestler bounce off the damn fake, real ass table. Like I said, I was talking to my brother earlier today. I said, I remember seeing one where they put this guy 3 times they were trying, it didn't break, and then on the third one, it looked like that good guy broke his neck because they were trying to break the table, and he's laying on the ground, and then the video cut off. It didn't really show no explanation as to what happened. Hopefully the guy's okay and all that stuff, but it's just ridiculous. That's why they're like always a subject of botchamania. It's like you always see that I am the table, right? I mean, there was a spot in the Bobby Lashley match where they set up a table, and I guess that was the one that was supposed to be one of the ones on the outside, so when someone gets thrown out, they go through it, because that thing broke on its own. So I know that's going to be on Botchamania. Even though it was just a miscalculation. They were supposed to get that table, I guess. I don't know. I just remember the last time I seen a table break like that. I remember it was a while ago, but I remember seeing a table do that. They set it up, and they just went, oof. And they're just like, what the hell do we do now? Kind of thing, But there's that. So then now I think that they're trying, because Dax and Cash came out and said, man, that's like 8 months ago. You guys are still rehashing that shit. Why are you bringing that crap out? Like, I thought we got past this. And then they start brawling it out. And I guess if they want to kind of, what's the word? But if they want to, kind of like vindicate themselves and maybe make it so that they look better, maybe kind of correct this thing, just use that as a way to go into the feud with, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing, because I don't know, it looks bad when they show that, because like I said, CM Punk chants, I think every time they see the Bucks, they're going to say that. And everybody knows that the FTR are friends with CM Punk. I'm pretty sure they didn't appreciate that in that video, the footage being shown. There's rumors that that the Bucks didn't want to do that, and even Will Ospreay, who made some rather controversial remarks about Triple H. You know, because I guess Triple H, I didn't really hear the interview, but that he says that Will Ospreay didn't do the grind or something like that to get to where he is, whatever. He doesn't know how to grind. This is whatever. I'm just paraphrasing. And then he goes, "Yeah, well, you're only where you are because you did grinding with the boss's daughter," and that's another thing where I don't get where people want to keep saying that or bringing that up, that Triple H is only where he is because he married the boss's wife. Like, you don't think he didn't love Stephanie? Look at Stephanie. Who wouldn't be in love with that woman, right? Yes, it did open the doors for him, but let's put it this way. David Flair. Oh, he's only in the business because of his dad. What if he became a great wrestler and a great thing? Then people would be like saying, yeah, they probably would still say, oh, it's because of his dad, but at least he took that opportunity and he made something with it. He didn't show he was a great wrestler. He wasn't. He's not Charlotte. He's not how Reed Flair, who passed away, God rest his soul. And people were saying that he was definitely going to be the next Ric Flair. Like, he's going to be like his dad. He was very talented. Just that his demons caught up with him, and that's unfortunate, In this industry, when it comes to wrestling, a lot of people, man, they got mental health issues. They got a lot of things they're dealing with, and sometimes it's hard for them, and then they do what they do, But, yeah, so it's like he had the opportunity. He could have easily fumbled and not done shit. And then McMahon would just been like, okay, you just stay over there. Be behind the scenes. Do some producing. We're not going to put you in as a major, title there as chief content, chief content creator and overall creative and all that stuff. Yes, it did give him the opportunity, but it's not because he married into the damn industry that he's where he is. He had to earn that. You obviously think that Vince McMahon is going to just let anybody be in those positions, The other people that are in top positions, they're not married into the McMahon family. What's your point? What's your point? Triple H is where he is because of his hard work. You can say whatever you want. He used to bury people back in the day. Yeah, he was like that, but he's changed. He's 54 years old, around that. He's around my age. And it's like, people change. So some of you youngins who are out there talking this shit or saying this shit, you're going to go through changes in your life. And those of you who are older than me, around my age, and you're talking like this, look in the mirror and get a grip. Like, it's like, he's not in this because he married Stephanie McMahon. It gave him the opportunities. But like I say, when you get opportunities, in recent years, I've gotten opportunities at my job, and I've gone up the rung or gone up the ladder because I bust my ass and I do what my managers and bosses, expect of me. And so I'm able to do that. If I'm not, I'm going to be down here. They're going to go someone else. Someone else is going to come up ahead of me. So it's the opportunities that you get. That's what it is. And you go with it. You roll with it. And if you fail, you're not going to go nowhere. But if you succeed, you could be the fucking COO like Triple H or the chief content, officer, the overall creative guy. I'm not telling you what to think. You guys are still going to probably think, and people are still going to think that he married. That's the reason why he's where he's at, because he married Stephanie McMahon. But like I said, married her into the McMahon family. The McMahon family is in charge of WWE. They're the creators of WWE. That's their, baby, if you will. Vince McMahon's baby. So of course he's going to get opportunities because he's married into the family. But it's about what he does with that opportunity, not because he gave it to him. Eric Watts. Bill Watts is his dad. And Eric Watts I don't think he knew the difference between a wrist lock and a wristwatch, right? And he was one of the shittiest, worst promoter sons out there. Like, that guy couldn't wrestle. Like, everybody who has a story about him, all these old school guys, hated wrestling him. They thought that he was crap. He was bullshit in the ring. See? That's an opportunity where he got an opportunity because his dad was a promoter. But he wasn't able to take that opportunity and advance himself and become one of the greatest wrestlers in the industry. He's just a footnote now. But talking about AEW, let's go back to that. Mercedes Moné. The only reason why I stuck with AEW is because of Mercedes Moné. I miss her. I had an opportunity to watch her in San Jose challenge Kairi for the New Japan Women's Championship. She won that title. I just couldn't make it to it. And I could have seen that because I love Kairi as well. She's my favorite, one of my favorites. But her heartfelt, from the heart speech she did when she debuted in AEW, and she was in the ring, and she had the feeling, the baby face vibes that she was giving off. It was great. And then in recent weeks, she's been like, that's all she does. That's all she's known. That's all she's known for now. Is just doing that. I'm the COO, CEO, you know. And then now she has this kind of change of attitude where she's now arrogant and she's like all about herself, and she's like saying that everything is for me and Tony Khan's money is all mine, and I got all the attention, right? And then you look at her. She challenges Julia Hart or Willow, whoever is the world champion of women in WAEW. She challenged them. She got next at Double or Nothing. Was it Double or Nothing? Yeah. Not Dynasty. Double or Nothing. Regardless of what it is, I believe it was Double or Nothing that she said that. But Tony Schiavone on Dynamite said her debut match is going to be at, put pay-per-view here. Either Dynamite or Dynasty. I believe it's Dynamite. I mean, not Dynamite, Double or Nothing. So right away, I'm already saying, okay, so that means that she's not going to wrestle until her title match, which is a few months from now. Instead of like making her build up her wins towards that pay-per-view, she is going to be gifted a title shot because of she's the CEO. She has that arrogance like, well, whatever I want, I get. If I want to go for the trios title by myself, I'll get it. Tony Khan's going to let me have that. I'll be the first TNT champion, a female TNT champion. Who do you really want to see her face? Willow, right? Because when Willow faced her for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, it was the first time ever title, and Mercedes got injured, so she was slated to be the first champion, but because she got injured, they did an audible and Willow beat her. So there's like a storyline there where she wants to get back at Willow. So that's probably why they're trying to do a slow heel turn. But I like Mercedes as a babyface. She's more organic as a babyface. When she does a heel thing, she goes overboard. She does over enunciates. She does that, like, it's like, what is that? That's not you. We know how you talk. You don't talk like that. I mean, she probably talks like that, but she doesn't. She over exaggerates, And like I said, I love Mercedes. The reason why I'm watching AEW still is because of her. But those people in the internet, in the IWC, and those who do these podcasts seriously, you're talking about, let's see if AEW does the same to her like they're doing to the current women's division, which is crap, right? They're not doing anything for them. Look at how she's being booked now. That's the telltale sign that they're going to do the same thing to her that they've been doing to the thing. Why do you think there's change? The ranking system, which is non-existent. They'll bring it up once in a while. Oh, he's the number 2 guy, but you're not doing it because every time they do that, what do? They always ranking system. This guy's number 1, but then they'll give a title shot to number 5. Remember Hikaru Shida? 11 weeks, she was the number 1 ranked, and they had all these other people challenging for the title. She finally got it. I believe she beat Nyla Rose. And I'm like, about fucking time. She was the number 1 ranked, and you kept giving title shots to other people. I'm not sure if there was even I think there was a title change between that. I don't know, but it's like the ranking system is shit there. They don't care about it. It's just a talking point for Tony Khan. So look at us. WWE doesn't have a ranking system, but look at us. And then basically he does like what he does with other people that he signs. He just lets it lay there. Miro is like, how come they're not passing around missing fucking pamphlets or flyers for Miro? You know, I can understand him being gone and sad or another because he just recently divorced C.J. Perry, his wife, Lana. Right? Where even though he said that they'll still work together because they still care about each other, still friends and all that shit. But you talk about somebody who I don't know if it's Miro or if it's just the fact that the creative doesn't know what to do with him, because even in WWE they had a good thing going with him and his partner there. What's his name? I forget his name. The one in Bod Villains. They had a good thing going, and then they didn't push him. Same thing with AEW. Great strong start. He was a TNT champion. Nothing. My God, that whole, remember, talking to his God and forsaking him and all that stuff. And then nothing. I think that if he goes back to WWE, I think Triple H will do something with him. But I don't know where is he? Where is he at? Where has he been? That's the problem with Tony Khan. He always signs these guys because he doesn't want WWE to have them. I'll sign them for 5 years, and they're under contract, so they're just gonna be here. But Triple H and them, WWE can't have them. But the one thing about Tony Khan is that he did let Andrade go. And Andrade was able to work right away in WWE. But look at where he's at now. He's doing pretty decent now. They're building him up in WWE. Whereas in AEW, they could give a flying fuck about him. They didn't do nothing with him. Not at all. I mean, what the hell is going on when you can't push and give a good program and creative behind one of the best wrestlers in the world, which is Andrade? You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, AEW, if they don't watch it, they're going to be on fucking life support soon. Seriously. Because AEW, when it comes to Tony Khan down to his wrestlers, they are all a bunch of butthurt individuals who cannot take criticism. Punk said what he said. He had every right to say it because he lived that incident. How come he can't say what he wants to say about the incident and All In, right? But then Tony Khan's like, he hurt my butt. I gotta go on Twitter and X and say this and say that instead of being a boss and going, you know what? We're gonna get back at them by putting out a better product than those guys. That's maybe what he should do instead of like being a little baby and going off and going, oh no, I'm going to, what do you call it? Now I'm going to show them. I'm gonna do a thing where I'm going to show my, what do you call it? My, I'm going to show footage that, unbeknownst to me, it's gonna blow up in my face, and it did. I mean, they need to grow a backbone. Someone needs to get Tony a damn turtle shell, or like, what called alligator skin, so that he can, that shit could just roll off him, and then he just moves on. You see WWE dwelling on AEW shit. Maybe they do a little jab here, a little jab there, but they don't like act like they're butthurt if AEW does something. And I'm not a rah WWE or rah AEW. It's like I like both. I lean more towards WWE because I grew up since I was 12 years old. Over 40 years of being a WWE fan. So of course I'm going to think, it's like AEW's only been around 5 years. But here's the thing. They need to stop, what do you call it? They need to stop reacting like they do every time something is said about them. Aren't these guys grown adults? Grown men and women? Tony Khan is the president of the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? He's got a stake in there. His dad's the owner. It's like, are you going to do that every time? Do you do that? Every time an NFL player or somebody on another team talks crap about the Jacksonville Jaguars, does you ever see him go on Twitter and X and say, oh, blah, 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 blah? Does he show footage of an opposing player or them getting in a fight at a bar and stuff like that. No. So why do you do that with wrestling? What I'm saying is when I say he's on Lifeline, he can easily lose his TV deals, and he's going to end up like TNA, end up like NWA, where they're going to be on YouTube or they're going to have like a streaming service or whatever, and they're not going to have no broad audience that's going to give a fuck about AEW. My prediction is that that's what's going to happen to them. They'll still be around. They could be around another 50 years, but they're not going to have things because of what Tony Khan did and what he refuses to do, and that is just book a good program, a good match. How about you delegate your what do you call it, the duties? I don't know if anybody, because I used to watch a couple of these podcasters, and not one of them brought up, because I saw an interview. I don't know if maybe it was made up, but I saw an interview that said that he said, Tony Khan, that's the reason why he's the one that's completely in charge. If you look at his blurb there that's underneath him every time he comes out, president, CEO, creative, booking, all that stuff. He said in an interview that he doesn't want to delegate any of that to anybody because he wants it to be the same thinking and the same path as his. He doesn't want to have a different path because it's going to go against what he wants. Well, how about you let those guys do that? They have a different approach to it, and then you're the one that says, okay, well, I could take that. That'll work. No, that won't work, but let's use that other one and kind of delegate it together, put it together, and then you have a cohesive program. Like, he just basically wants to run everything, and it's just like he's going to run out of ideas, and he's going to run out of smoke and steam and all that stuff because he's handling everything. Look at the people that he has in behind the scenes, the creative minds that he has there. Dustin Rhodes, Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho, those guys. You could even put Joe there. You could even put Omega. And it's like, oh, hell with you guys. It's my show. I want to. You do remember what happened there, Tony Khan, when there was one person that wanted to take over everything, and then you look at what happened to him now. Remember? And it's a great thing for WWE because Vince McMahon wanted to be in control of everything. He don't want, even though he did delegate stuff, but it's like he still would. It's almost like you give him an idea. Fuck that idea. I want it this way. Well, Vince, why don't you just go with your ideas and then not have these guys? You don't listen to them at all. Because at least he did that. He gave that. Look at Tony Khan. I want everything according to what I want. I want everything to how I want it, not how, what do you call it, you guys want it. I mean, yeah, I know I got creative minds. I got you, Dustin. I got you, Brian. I got you, Chris, Jericho, and even Moxley. Yeah, you guys. I believe those are like the four people amongst them that were active wrestlers who he totally, especially Danielson. He's totally like, they're like totally like buds, like meaning that they are, he respects Bryan Danielson. They even said that if something happened to Tony, Bryan Danielson would be the ones to take over the company, and I would think that they would be in great hands. That would probably be like a Triple H thing, where finally you're gonna have somebody that's gonna delegate stuff and it's gonna be better. Because I've gotten really fed up with AEW in the last few years. It's like, especially the last year. Like, I'm just like going, where are you guys going with some of the stuff you do? Stop being so predictable. They have a match with upcoming, maybe already happened, with Julia defending her TBS title against Layla Hirsch. Here's the thing. How come they didn't just be like, she's going to put her title, well, not her title online, but she's going to challenge people, take challenges and stuff like that. And then she's going to build up her thing, like I said earlier, build up her wins and stuff like that. Because here's the thing. Let's say she would lose the title to Layla Hirsch. Is people are going to be like clamoring for a Layla Hirsch versus Willow match? Maybe she should have had someone challenge her who you would think that, oh, if that girl beats Julia, I wouldn't mind seeing the one that would beat her for the title in the open challenge take on Willow. But no one's going to be clamoring to watch Layla Hirsch, against Willow. And why does Tony Khan do? Tony Khan does that too. He goes, oh, I'm going to put, I'm going to put a person that already has a title match, and I'm going to put them in another title match Because you know how predictable that is, Tony Khan? You know how we know that that champion is not going to lose the title? Especially when you put her up against a scrub or a lower mid-carder or a jobber. Who cares? Seriously, who cares if that happens? No one's going to care. No one's going to give a you-know-what that Layla Hirsch is challenging her. I know she's been doing these open challenges at times, the house rules and all that stuff when it comes to Julia. But don't do that. It's like, why do you do that? The championship eliminator matches. Isn't somebody challenging like Joe? Joe on Dynamite. He's challenged by by Dustin Rhodes. I believe it was just a championship eliminator match. Or if he beats him, he gets a title shot. And we all know, don't bullshit me. We all know that they did that because Cody, his brother, became world heavyweight champion or the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. It's like, again, he can't. He says that he wants to say that he's better than WWE because we do wrestling here. That's what they say in AEW, right? Even though WWE now is turning towards pro wrestling now. But it's like, he's like, he can't, keep Triple H out of his mind. WWE out of his mind. Like, how about you just put on a banger of a match? You're good at that, right? Not no storylines there, but no creative behind it. Majority of their damn matches are just that. Look at what happened when he said that one time when he said, you don't have to watch our programming to not enjoy our pay-per-views. Wow, that's a good way to, I don't know, to promote your pay-per-views, especially promote your TV shows. Because some people will go, I don't have all this time in the day to watch, Dynamite and Rampage and Collision. So I'll just watch the pay-per-views because Tony Khan said I don't have to watch those. Now I'm thinking, this is what give him benefit of the doubt. This is what Tony Khan's saying. That even if you didn't watch his programming, the weekly programming, if you watch the pay-per-views, you'll still be entertained. But the way it came off, it's like, no, you don't have to watch the program. You don't have to watch Dynamite and the other ones. Just watch the pay-per-views. I guess that's a good thing to say because that's where he makes the money too. $50 a pop. How you honestly think that people can afford that shit? $50? I can't. I make decent money, but I can't afford $50 a pop every damn pay-per-view. Like, all in and all out, $50 each. So they expect us to pay $100 instead of like doing a combo deal where it's $75 for both days. That would have been good, but But AEW, it's getting to the point now, and I see how where they're going with Mercedes, and it's like maybe if she wins the title, because there's another thing too. Is she going to lose on her first? That's why I was saying. Because this is her first match. She's going to lose in her first match, and her first match has to be a title. So, I wonder if she's going to win the championship. See, now that makes it more predictable. It makes it more predictable because that's her first match. She's not going to lose her first match. So, Julia should just be thankful that she has the reign that she has. She's going to have another, 4 weeks, however long it takes to get to to get to Double or Nothing. You would think it would be at Dynamite, but I think at Dynamite that's right. That's Julia and Willow, and then at Double or Nothing she has the winner. There you go. But still, that's some time away in May, right? Like, why are you making Mercedes wrestle her first match in a title match, and she's not going to lose her first match, so it's predictable. Wrestling can be predictable, but not to the point where you're just like, I know where this is going, and you're just, you just have a flippant attitude, like, Because there are times where you watch wrestling, you're like, oh, I know where it's going, but the ride is still great, Cody winning the championship. We know that was going to happen, but the ride there was like a roller coaster, and you were there for the roller coaster ride. You were excited. Boom, 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 right? But AEW's has a lot of problems, and they really need to fix it, or they're going to be going by the way of TNA and NWA, where it's like people are going to go, oh, AEW is still around. People say that, I'm sure, about TNA and about NWA. I find myself saying that about NWA all the time, but TNA, from what I was watching for like a few months, it was great. It's great. I might go back to watch it again because if AEW, if I just drop AEW altogether, it's just like, yeah, I'll go back to TNA. And I don't want to do that because I have enjoyed AEW. It's just that they have a lot of problems and issues that they have to address. WWE has been addressing their problems. So why can't AEW do that? And stop dwelling on WWE and what they're doing there, Tony Khan. That's not the end all be all. You don't have to focus on them. Focus on your product and making it good. And then when people see that your product is good and it's better than WWE, they're gonna flock over to you. Don't play the petty game. Don't play a damn fucking elementary school fucking thing where you're like, you did that to me, I'm gonna do this to you. You took my turn in the stand. In a slide. I'm gonna push you off the slide next time I see you. Stuff like that, like little child games. Like that's what he's doing. You're running an organization, a company, and you're an adult, aren't you? Come on, you're an adult. Be one. Stop acting like a child. Seriously. Now Smackdown was good. Cody opened. And we saw Bailey come out there, did her thing. Both had great promos. Cody pretty much just continued from Monday. And, we had two triple threat matches. First one won by LA Knight. He beat Bobby Lashley and Santos. I don't know why Santos was there. He lost at WrestleMania. I can understand Bobby Lashley. He won this match. Same thing with LA Knight. They gave it to him. And then you had AJ Styles, KO, and then Bray. Could have went either way. I would have been okay with that, but then I'm glad that they had AJ win because now it's number 2 between the match between LA Knight and what's his name? AJ. Just kidding. I know who AJ is. 2-time WWE champion, Hall of Famer. Still looks amazing. Guy his age and he's jacked like he is, man. He had to have changed up his workout regimen and stuff like that. No, it's not steroids, folks. There's some people that have the ability to pack on muscles. They're just like with Triple H. He was trained. He got to some different kind of a trainer, and he was able to unlock his ability with different type of program to bulk him up. You know what I mean? Like am I saying that those people out there that do steroids? Of course not. Of course there are people out there. EC3 fucking looks like he's on steroids. He's had all those bumps on him. They say that's what it looks like when you are on steroids. You have all those bumps all over you and all that stuff. Don't you see that in EC3? He's the guy that you could tell he's on. If I was going to say, by looking at somebody, who do you think is on steroids? I'd be like him. Just because a guy is huge and big doesn't mean that you had to put in the context their height, their weight, their history, family history, whatever. Stuff like whatever you want to say. That somebody could naturally bulk up like that. These guys eat like 5, 6, 7 times a day. Protein, a lot of stuff like that. That's the reason why how they can bulk up. I'm not saying that people don't use steroids, but every time someone bulks up, everybody has to say steroids. Oh, it's steroids. Maybe they changed up their workout regimen. Maybe they got with somebody who was able to unlock their true potential and their ability to pack on muscle. Because maybe the way they were doing it, they weren't packing on no muscles. They were just packed on muscle, but just enough to just see how we see them, right? But that was a good match, and it's a good setup for next week. That's going to be really, really good to see that next week. Of course, we saw Jade Cargill, and she teams up with Bianca, and then in the backstage segment with Nick Aldis, you see Chelsea. Kind of complaining about what's his name, about Adam Pearce, and he didn't get him on they're on WrestleMania. I know that I can count on you to, and then he set me up, and Jade Cargill came out, and and then he goes, oh yeah, I can get you a match, and then it happens to be those two. It was so Chelsea Green had her old tag team partner back with her, Good to see her, Piper Niven. I'm a fan. But then they go out there and then it's those two, their opponents. And I'm like, great to see Jade. The total package, gorgeous. She's beautiful. Has the ring gear is popping. Her physique is just out of this world. But they need to stop with the whole one kick and then she does the jaded. She did that against her in her match with Chelsea on Monday, and then on Friday they do that thing. And when she went to slam her, she did like a press slam. I don't think it was a kick, but she did a thing. It's like a choke slam kind of thing. And it was very sloppy. She didn't get her up that high, and she's a strong girl, so I don't know why she was able to. It's just her and Chelsea didn't what's that word? They didn't gel. They didn't hit it off when it came to the movements and stuff. And then maybe Chelsea just didn't jump up high enough, or she didn't, I don't know what it was, but it was sloppy. And then she does the jaded, which she always nails. She always looks good doing the jaded part. People are going to start questioning whether or not she's just all looks and those, that whole thing of it's all like what's that word? But it's something all what do you call it? But no substance, like all style, no substance. It's almost like it's gonna be with Jade. Is that something to be? I remember when she was in AEW, 60-0 before she lost to Chris Statlander. It was all enhancement, local enhancement, jobbers. The only one that I can even remember a top tier wrestler that she wrestled when she was TBS champion was Athena. And Athena, she's like buried like in fucking Ring of Honor. She's been champion for I think about 5-10 years now. Jesus, she's had that title for so long, and she's calling herself the Forever Champion. And then yet I haven't seen her on Dynamite like maybe once since she went to ROH. She became the champion, and there's nothing there. She has no, what do you call it? She needs to be out there, especially with Mercedes there. Give her Athena. That'll be a great match. Maybe when she becomes CBS champion, when she does, because there's no doubt that she's going to be the TBS champion, Mercedes. Then she can have her first opponent will be, Athena. Maybe what do you call it? Combine those titles, into one. Get rid of the ROH one. Speaking of titles, yeah, they did on Ava Rain, the Rock's daughter, who's the GM of NXT. She introduced a new title, the women's North American title. It's a good thing, I guess, because that gives the other women something to fight for. WWE needs to do that. I always said that about the Smackdown Women's Championship. They should have made that Intercontinental title for women's, or just another name for it, but a mid-card title for the women, because you have a lot of good mid-card women, and they're not gonna ever, because you only get certain people that they're circling around a major title. Becky, Charlotte, Bianca, right? Asuka, few of them that they're putting around the title, but nobody else gets a shot. And if they do, it's just they just get squashed. And then you ask yourself, why the hell did they do that? Why the hell did they do that? Did they put them in that title match? And they ain't gonna win. That's the thing I hate the most, is when you have people who don't have a ice ball of it, what's that? Ice cube chance in hell, right? It's just like they're not gonna win the title. So why are you booking it? Why are you booking them? But like I said, SmackDown, excuse me, SmackDown was good. It was really great. It's like an extension of the after shows of WrestleMania. This was SmackDown after WrestleMania. It was good. No announcement of where WrestleMania is going to be. But I guess they're keeping it close to the vest. I guess they just don't want to put it out there yet. Maybe they're not even decided yet. Maybe there's a number of cities that they're feverishly fighting over the right to host WrestleMania. So I guess that's why we probably get it. I mean, we're getting a draft at the end of this month, I believe. That's what they said. And I'm gonna leave with this: the draft. The draft should be like the NFL, like those kind of drafts, Why do these guys draft from Raw to SmackDown, SmackDown to Raw? They're like the NFL. Does the NFL draft from other teams? No, they trade. So that's what they should do. Trade from SmackDown to Raw and Raw to SmackDown, and then they'll draft from NXT. And even like let's say people that it's rumored that they're coming to WWE. How about you like put them in the draft too? You draft those indie wrestlers that are free agents and are talking to the WWE. And let's say WWE goes, you know what? We're not going to give you the word yet. We're doing a draft. Look at the draft, and if you guys' names mentioned, then you're signed with us. Something like that to stir it up, kind of, you know. You don't draft from brand to brand. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds silly. How about you just say, you know, because say when it comes to that, they're being traded. Hopefully, Triple H changes that, the narrative of that, and how they go about doing a draft. Because the draft isn't like, you know, like I said, in the NFL, they don't draft. Like the Niners aren't going to draft from the Titans. They're going to trade for somebody. They're not going to trade. You know, they're not going to draft from from the Patriots. They're going to trade. They trade. No, they get a what do you call it? A draft pick in there. You know, like the number 2 and the number 15. Draft pick that they can get, something like that. But it's like, that's why I always talk about it. I mean, like, why are you guys saying that it's a draft when they're not drafting? They're just trading. There's no surprise. Is there anybody really excited when Kevin Owens is going to SmackDown or he's going to Raw? Oh, the AOP is going to come over to. The only excitement about that is the only thing about that newsworthy is that it's going to break up the the Final Testament. But they really need to do something about that. It's just like, come on, like I said, you're not drafting between brands. Okay, the NFL doesn't draft between teams. They draft from college. They draft from maybe even CFL and the other, organized football leagues, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure the UFL, the new division, the new football organization from the Rock owns, the NFL might draft from them. Who knows, right? It's a combination of XFL and the USFL, right? They had their individual champions face each other or something recently. I mean, that seems exciting, but I'm not into like that because to me, I just consider that like college. I don't give a fuck about anything college. But anyway, that's my first video back talking about the week that was WWE and AEW. And well, I don't watch anything else right now. Collision, because Collision is just like, I don't want to hear Tony Schiavone yelling over his voice, thinking that I'm gonna yell like this every time, even when someone's walking down the aisle and someone is, stepping through the ropes. Like, it's almost like Tony Khan said, you gotta make Collision exciting, start yelling. And Tony Schiavone talks normal on Dynamite, and then he's yelling, and I'm like, I can't take this shit. I like Collision. It's been decent, but it's like listening to him shout. And then sometimes you can hear his voice. He's like totally like lost his mind. I go, no wonder you lost your voice, dummy. You're like yelling. How about you talk in a normal tone? You can raise your voice, but man, you're screaming like something exciting happened. All the person did was just step through the ropes. Like, seriously, I'm not even trying to be facetious or funny or something like that. He did that one time where someone's just, and then I remember it's funny because when Hook came out, and you know how he would scream when Sting comes out, Sting, right? He tried doing that with Hook, and I think someone said, you know what, that doesn't work. And then when you see him now, he just goes, hey, it's Sting, it's Hook, like he'll say it like that. And I'm going, what's he trying to do? Keep that damn thing going. It was annoying when he was doing that with Sting, because because Dustin Roberts has a very, very his voice is loud and he was doing that with Sting, and then Tony Schiavone comes in and yells for Sting, and I go, dude, Justin Roberts already did that. You sound like an idiot yelling his name when it was already. And I get it. People are gonna go, well, that's his shtick. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the shtick isn't annoying. He's a legend, Tony Schiavone. I don't have a problem with him when it comes to him. But it's like, come on, that's something where, it's like just be yourself. Don't like. You see, I can tell he's yelling for for a reason, maybe because Tony Khan is telling them to be excitable. But it's like, you're gonna make people not want to watch because it's just like, why are you screaming? And there's nothing even going on, and you're screaming. Nigel McGuinness is probably going, stop shouting, dude. What the hell's your problem? Man, just be normal, man. Just if you're excited, then be excited, but you can't be excited that much. But like I said, that's my first video back. Hopefully, I've been gone a year. Hopefully, the ones that gone away, maybe they'll come back. If those of you who watch this video for the first time, I thank you. I'm not an excitable person. I've been going through a lot health-wise, so it's kind of hard for me to really get myself amped up. I'll try, but I figure my tone of voice is my natural voice. I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to coddle anybody out there. If I don't like something, I will tell you. There's like some of these guys out there that are so honest and brutally honest, and they will tell you what's on their mind. And there's too many people that want to be employed by WWE one day, so they don't want to say anything to offend people. But it's like, you have to be honest, because people will see through your deceit and the way you're presenting yourself, that you're not who you are. They'll say like, this guy's full of shit. I'm not going to watch. This girl's full of crap. I'm not going to watch them, because I know they don't believe what they're saying. But what I say is what I believe, And those of you who have comments, please drop them down below. If you like this video, please click that like. Also, share this video and subscribe. And also click the bell icon. That way, you'll be notified when I post up a video. But I think that even when you subscribe, you still get notified. But the bell icon is the guaranteed way of being notified. You get notified early. If I post something early, I'm going to probably try to do something like that. To make it available to people who are subscribed to me. But I would really appreciate your support. And for those of you who come by and watch my videos and just go on your way, that's fine. Thanks for stopping by. But I want to really grow this channel, and I really want to just interact with people and maybe do lives when I have enough people that will go watch my lives when I do it. It's kind of hard with my work schedule, because I can't just watch live because I work the swing shift, so it's like I get off around 10:30 night. So Raw's already about done and other things. So I'm gonna do it like this. This is how I'm gonna do it on my channel now. Talk wrestling. It was a great week, of course, because WrestleMania kicked it off. Let's see what happens next week. There's no Raw after, no Smackdown after WrestleMania. So let's see how NXT does. Let's see how Dynamite. Maybe they try to come back from this debacle of the All-In footage, which really didn't do them any favors. It really didn't. I don't know why they thought to do it, but then again, Tony Khan's in charge, so I think that should tell you why it went this way. The guy just can't be an adult. He's a child. He's a man-child. He's a guy who just gets butthurt too easy, and he wears his heart on the sleeve. There's something wrong with that sometimes, but man, sometimes you gotta put on that damn thick skin and just let that shit roll off you. Move on. Kind of hard for me to say that. Kind of silly for me to say that, because I'm not in their shoes. He runs a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company, so I can't really say that and kind of understand what he's going through. But at the same time, it's easy to what do you call it? What's the word? But it's easy to negate all of that stuff that's happening to you if you just let shit go and then just keep moving forward. Focus on your company, man. Don't focus on what Triple H and WWE do. And they're just doing nudges and kind of elbowing a little bit, kind of, to jerk you guys around. It's just like, but then you guys take it so seriously, so personally. Make a great product. Put out a great pay-per-view, great Dynamite, Rampage and Collision, and then people are going to flock to you. Like I said earlier, they're going to flock to you, and they're going to be like, you know what, you guys are putting on a better show than WWE did. I think I'm going to watch you guys more. Stop reacting on X every time something is said. You can put your thoughts out there, but man, when you show that you're letting this stuff get to you, people are gonna stop taking you seriously. And I don't want to see AEW go away. I don't want to see it go by the way of the Dodo Bird, by the way of TNA and how they are now in NWA. Great wrestling companies, great wrestlers in those companies, but no one knows them, no one sees them because of where they are. They're not on a national platform. So, that's that with this video. I keep about to check out, and then I come back in. But yeah, for those of you who stopped by and checked out this video, I thank you. Appreciate it. Well, until next time, take care, and I will see you in my next video.